Stop everything. Close the noise. Lay down every other voice and look toward me now, because this moment is not accidental and neither are you. I am speaking, and you were drawn here with intention written long before your breath first entered your lungs. Your life has never been random. Even when chaos surrounded you and confusion clouded your sight, my hand was steady, guiding, restraining, forming. Every tear you hid was witnessed. Every night you stared into darkness, wondering if you were forgotten. I was nearer than your own thoughts. I did not abandon you in pain. I allowed the fire because fire reveals what cannot be destroyed. You believed you were breaking, but I was strengthening what would carry you forward. What I am shaping within you cannot be shaken by storms, opinions, or delay. The pressure did not come to end you. It came to expose what was eternal. I know you questioned my silence. I know you mistook waiting for rejection. Yet even when my voice felt distant, my presence never moved. I was speaking beneath the noise where fear could not corrupt my words. Now listen carefully. This is not a message for everyone. It is for the one willing to pause, to obey, to remain. I am calling you out of observation and into participation. The season of shrinking back has ended. The era of hiding is over. You do not need another rescuer. I am your rescue, and I am calling you to stand. The power that raised my son lives within you, not as metaphor, but as reality. Let your heart awaken. Let resistance fall. What comes next requires your attention, your trust, and your obedience. Do not look away now, for what I release next will mark you forever and completely. Stop drifting in your thoughts and anchor yourself here with me, because what I am speaking now is not meant to be skimmed or softened. I am not whispering to entertain you. I am commanding you to awaken. You have lived too long under the illusion that you were merely reacting to life, surviving waves you did not choose. Hear me clearly. I was never reacting. I was arranging. Every interruption that frustrated you, every delay that angered you, every closed door that bruised your hope was measured, permitted, and woven into a design you could not yet perceive. You called it resistance. I called it reinforcement. You thought I was withholding. I was fortifying. I allowed you to feel weak so you would learn where strength truly flows from. I allowed uncertainty so you would stop trusting your own control. I stripped away what you leaned on because it could not carry the weight of what I am placing upon you. You were not overlooked in the crowd. You were isolated for preparation. I do not prepare vessels in noise. I prepare them in solitude, where motives are exposed and foundations are tested. Do not resent the loneliness you walked through. It refined your hearing. It trained you to recognize my voice without confirmation from others. Many would have collapsed under what you endured, but you remained, even when you did not understand why. That endurance was not accidental. It is evidence that I have placed something within you that pressure could not crush. You are not fragile. You are forged. And now I am calling you to stop identifying with the pain that shaped you and begin identifying with the authority that emerged from it. You have questioned your worth because you measured yourself by outcomes, by timelines, by comparisons I never authored. You assumed that because progress looked slow, I must have been distant. Yet I was closer in the delay than I would have been in immediate fulfillment. I was teaching you to walk without constant reassurance, to trust without visible reward. You prayed and expected answers that looked a certain way, and when they did not arrive, disappointment taught you to guard your expectations. But hear me. Guarding your heart does not mean shrinking your faith. I never asked you to believe less. I asked you to believe deeper. Every prayer you whispered carried weight. None were wasted. Each one carved endurance into your spirit, stretching your capacity to hold what is coming. I am not careless with timing. I do not rush what must endure. What I am preparing to release into your life requires maturity, discernment, and humility. Had it come sooner, it would have harmed you. Had it arrived earlier, it would have inflated what I was still refining. You mistook preparation for punishment, but I was protecting you from burdens you were not yet built to carry. Now understand this. You did not survive by chance. You survived because I sustained you when you could not sustain yourself. The resilience you admire in others was quietly forming in you. The faith you thought you lost was being purified, not erased. You are standing now because I held you then. Let that truth recalibrate how you see yourself. I am dismantling the lie that you are powerless. You have lived as though life happens to you, as though fear gets the final word, as though wounds dictate your limits. That season is ending. I did not give you fear as a guide or anxiety as an authority. Fear has spoken loudly because you allowed it to sit where I belong. Remove it. Fear is not wisdom. It is not protection. It is a thief of clarity. I am restoring my rightful place at the center of your heart. When I reign, peace follows. When peace settles, courage rises. When courage awakens, purpose begins to move again. You are not called to hide behind caution or delay obedience until certainty appears. Obedience is not born from certainty. It creates it. I am awakening you to the authority entrusted to you, not for dominance, but for alignment. You are meant to participate, not spectate. You are meant to speak, not shrink. You are meant to stand, not wait for rescue. I am your rescue, and I am within you. The same power that raised my son now breathes through your obedience. This is not poetry. This is reality. And reality demands response. You will no longer live as if you are defined by what hurt you. You belong to me. That alone redefines everything. You are chosen, strengthened, and clothed with dignity that suffering could not strip away. Now listen without resistance. The path ahead requires your whole heart. Partial trust will no longer sustain you. Hesitant obedience will slow what is ready to move. I am calling you into surrender, not to control you, but to free you. You cannot carry yesterday's fears into tomorrow's assignment. You cannot clutch old wounds and receive new life at the same time. Release what no longer serves you. Let it fall. I will not let you fall with it. You are not required to understand every step. You are required to take the next one. I am already present in what awaits you. I am already moving ahead of you, clearing paths you cannot yet see. Do not measure readiness by how confident you feel. Measure it by how willing you are to obey. You are entering a season where what you have endured will finally make sense. Not because the pain was good, but because I am. I do not redeem nothing. I redeem everything surrendered to me. Stay with me. Listen closely. What I am unfolding now is only the beginning, and your response will determine how fully you step into what I have prepared. Be still with me now and resist the urge to rush ahead, because what I am forming in you cannot be built through haste. You have learned how to strive, how to endure, how to push forward even when your strength felt thin. But now I am teaching you something deeper and more difficult. I am teaching you how to remain. You were never designed to live as a performer chasing validation, or as a laborer trying to earn rest through exhaustion. You were created to abide, to live rooted and present in me, drawing life rather than draining yourself to prove worth. Many have told you that movement equals progress, but I tell you that alignment precedes momentum. Without closeness, acceleration becomes chaos. I am drawing you inward before I move you outward, because intimacy is not a pause in purpose, it is the source of it. You have mistaken stillness for stagnation, yet in the quiet, I do my deepest work. Here, I untangle the knots fear tied around your thinking. Here, I heal wounds you normalized because survival demanded it. Here, I restore your ability to trust without bracing for disappointment. You are learning that peace is not the absence of pressure, but the presence of me at the center of it. Do not resist this slowing. I am recalibrating your soul so you can carry what is coming without losing yourself. The world will always demand more, but I am teaching you to discern what is required and what is noise. When you remain with me, you will move with clarity rather than compulsion, with confidence rather than anxiety, and with authority rather than imitation. You have chased answers before, hoping clarity would silence uncertainty, yet clarity without closeness only feeds control. I am not giving you a rigid blueprint because I am inviting you into relationship, not dependence on instructions. You want to know every step so you can feel safe. But I am teaching you to trust my presence more than your predictions. There were seasons when you prayed sincerely, and the outcome did not align with your expectation, and disappointment taught you to brace your hope. I do not dismiss that pain. I acknowledge it fully. But hear me carefully. Your faith was not wasted. Not one act of trust dissolved into nothing. Every prayer shaped endurance, humility, and depth within you. Growth was happening even when evidence was invisible. You interpreted waiting as rejection, but it was preparation. You interpreted silence as distance, yet I was closer than ever, strengthening you from within. I was allowing you to become someone capable of stewarding what I intend to place in your hands. What is coming requires discernment, restraint, and reverence. It is not for the impulsive or the proud. It is for those who have learned to lean rather than demand. You are not stepping into the next season fragile or untested. You are entering it seasoned by struggle and stabilized by trust. When doors open, and they will, you will walk through them knowing you did not arrive there by chance or effort alone. You will know who sustained you, who shaped you, and who walks with you still. Now I am lifting your gaze beyond yourself, because intimacy with me always expands your capacity to carry others. You once asked me to guide you, to heal you, to steady you, and I did. But now you are becoming a place of steadiness for others. I am sharpening your discernment, not through intellect alone, but through humility. You have learned what it means to walk with unanswered questions without abandoning trust. That endurance has given you insight others cannot access. You will recognize truth more quickly now. Confusion will lose its grip. Where pain once distorted your vision, clarity will sharpen it. I am entrusting you with understanding because you have learned to listen without demanding control. Many seek comfort, but I chose you in refinement. Those who walk with me through sorrow and perseverance are the ones I entrust with what is sacred. You endured what others avoided, and because of that, you will see what others miss. Wisdom will flow through you, not to elevate you above others, but to anchor those who are unsteady. People will sense peace in your presence without understanding why. Do not minimize this. It is not your strength. It is my life expressed through your obedience. You are being positioned as a steady presence in uncertain spaces, a voice of calm amid noise, a light where confusion dominates. Speak what I reveal to you without shrinking. Confidence in my truth is not arrogance, it is faithfulness. But remember this, power must always be stewarded through surrender. Do not use your voice to impress or your insight to dominate. Use them to serve. Guard your heart against the pull of human approval, because applause fades, but obedience endures. Walk humbly, speak boldly, and love deeply. I am teaching you that rest is not the opposite of movement. It is the foundation of it. Even as momentum increases around you, I will anchor your soul so you are not carried away by urgency. I am establishing a rhythm in your life that cannot be shaken by pressure or praise. When you lean too far ahead, I will draw you back gently. When weariness causes you to fall behind, I will strengthen and carry you. Stay close. Let me set the pace of your days and the weight of your assignments. I am aligning things quietly, intentionally, faithfully. Patterns will form where confusion once reigned. Conversations will unfold at the right moment. Doors will open and close with clarity you did not have before. None of this is accidental. I am orchestrating details you never noticed, connecting pieces you did not realize were related. Remain with me. What I am doing within you now is preparing you to recognize and steward what comes next without fear, without striving, and without losing the peace you have learned to carry. Listen to me with an open heart, because what I am speaking now stretches beyond your personal healing and reaches into the lives connected to you. I did not restore you only so you could stand whole in isolation. I shaped you so you could become a point of interruption where cycles once repeated without resistance. You have felt the weight of patterns that ran through your family, your history, your environment. Fear passed down like inheritance. Silence learned as protection. Limitation accepted as normal. I allowed you to see them not to overwhelm you, but to end them. You are not continuing what came before you. You are transforming it. What bound those before you will not bind you. What exhausted them will not exhaust you. What defeated them will not define your future. I am positioning you as a turning point, not by force, but by obedience. The authority you carry does not come from volume or visibility, but from alignment with me. When you speak in agreement with my truth, environments shift. Resistance weakens. Deception collapses. This is not because of who you are alone, but because of who I am within you. Do not fear your own voice. I have placed weight upon your words. Speak with intention. Pray with expectancy. Declare what is right without apology. I am entrusting you with influence because you have learned restraint. You know what it means to be broken and restored, and that knowledge keeps your heart tender even as your courage grows. You will notice people drawn toward you, some consciously, some without understanding why. They will come carrying wounds they rarely speak about, stories shaped by betrayal, disappointment, and loss of hope. Many have lost their voice because speaking once cost them safety. Others are afraid to believe again because faith once felt foolish. I am sending them to you, not because you have rehearsed answers, but because your life bears evidence of transformation. Your presence will minister before your words do. The peace you carry will calm storms you did not create. Your story will awaken courage in hearts that have nearly resigned themselves to survival. Do not underestimate the quiet authority of a life aligned with me. Restoration will flow through you naturally, not as performance, but as overflow. This restoration reaches beyond emotions. It moves into spirits, relationships, and generations. I am reaching through you into your lineage, interrupting patterns of fear, poverty of vision, shame, and silence. You are the break in the cycle. You are the evidence that what once seemed inevitable is no longer in control. Walk in that awareness without pride and without hesitation. Freedom carried humbly multiplies. Freedom carried arrogantly fractures. Stay close to me, and your influence will remain pure. Now hear this clearly. With influence comes responsibility. Power must always be anchored in love, or it will corrode the one who carries it. I am teaching you to steward what I give you wisely. Do not rush to speak every insight you receive. Discernment is knowing not only what to say, but when to remain silent. Some truths are seeds, not announcements. Guard them until I give you release. I am training your discernment so you can distinguish between what merely sparkles and what is sacred. Not every opportunity is an assignment. Not every open door is meant to be entered. I will guide you. I will check your spirit when something is misaligned. Learn to trust that gentle restraint. It is protection, not limitation. The world rewards noise, but I honor faithfulness. Do not measure success by visibility or approval. Measure it by obedience and fruit that endures. Walk humbly among those who praise you, and gently among those who misunderstand you. You do not need to defend what I have established. I am your covering. Let your consistency speak where explanations would only create noise. You are entering spaces where confusion reigns, where truth has been diluted by fear and compromise. I am sending you not as a conqueror, but as a stabilizing presence. A light does not argue with darkness. It simply shines. Your clarity will expose what has been hidden. Your peace will unsettle what thrives on chaos. Some will resist you, not because you are wrong, but because alignment disrupts comfort. Do not take this personally. Opposition is not proof of failure. It is often confirmation of impact. Stay anchored in love. Never weaponize truth. Speak with firmness and compassion intertwined. This balance will protect you from pride and protect others from harm. Remember where you came from. Remember how patience and grace sustained you when you were still learning to trust. Extend that same grace to others. You are not called to rescue everyone, but you are called to remain faithful wherever I place you. Your assignment is not to control outcomes, but to remain aligned. As you walk forward, your confidence will deepen, not as self-reliance, but as trust rooted in experience with me. You will recognize my voice more quickly. You will sense when to move and when to wait. I am teaching you to lead from rest, to influence without striving, to speak without fear. This is a holy tension, and you are learning to carry it well. Do not grow weary in this process. Growth that lasts is often quiet and unseen. What I am forming in you now will sustain you in seasons where demand increases and expectations rise. You will not lose yourself in the call because you have learned to remain in me. That is the anchor. That is the protection. That is the source of everything that flows through you. Remain with me, and you will watch restoration spread farther than you imagined, touching lives you may never fully see, yet forever changing them through your obedience. Stay with me now, because what I am revealing is meant to steady you as movement increases. You are entering a season where things will accelerate, where alignment will create momentum that feels sudden from the outside, but deliberate from my perspective. Do not let speed unsettle you. I am the author of rhythm, not chaos. I am teaching you that rest is not withdrawal. It is positioning. Even as doors open and opportunities emerge, I will anchor your inner world so your peace is not dependent on circumstances. You are not required to keep pace with the world or compete for relevance. You are called to walk in step with me. My timing is flawless. My pace is intentional. When you lean too far ahead, I will draw you back gently. When weariness causes you to slow, I will strengthen and carry you. Stay close enough to feel that guidance. The closeness you have learned in quiet seasons will sustain you when visibility increases. Do not abandon it. What I am doing outwardly will never exceed what I have established inwardly. I am orchestrating details you have not noticed yet. Conversations will unfold at precise moments. Doors will open or close with a clarity that removes confusion rather than creating it. People from your past will reappear, not randomly, but purposefully. Some will return to support what is unfolding. Others will serve as markers of how far you have grown. Do not cling to either. Hold all things with open hands. Resources will begin to arrive not through striving, but through alignment. Provision will meet purpose with precision. You will notice that lack no longer defines your reality, not because effort increased, but because trust did. Understand this clearly. There will also be moments of pruning. These moments are not punishment. They are preparation. I will lovingly remove what cannot accompany you forward. Old ways of thinking, draining relationships, habits that once served survival, but now restrict growth. Release them without grief. Do not pursue what I close. If something must end, it was never meant to endure. I only remove what limits your flourishing. I never remove what is essential for your future. My voice will remain steady through every transition. I will speak in ways both subtle and unmistakable. Through stillness, through sacred words, through dreams, through trusted voices around you, you will recognize me not by pressure, but by peace. My voice does not rush you. It does not shame you. It strengthens and clarifies. When you hear it, something deep within you will respond with certainty, even if your mind has not yet caught up. Guard space for that listening. Do not allow constant noise to drown out the whisper that carries direction for your days. What I speak now is planting seeds. Seeds of courage, vision, and hope. My word does not return empty. A harvest is forming even if you cannot yet see it. You are being positioned not only outwardly, but inwardly for a move of my spirit that will surprise you. You asked for guidance, and I am answering not with rigid plans, but with living moments. Step by step, you will sense my leading. It may not always appear logical. It may even appear foolish to others. But this season is not governed by reasoning alone. It is governed by trust. You will find yourself standing in places you once prayed about from a distance. When you arrive, remember how you got there. Remember the waiting that safeguarded you. Remember the delays that protected you from pride and self-reliance. I knew what would have harmed you if it came too early. I knew how quickly independence could replace dependence. But now you have learned to lean. You have tasted the strength found in prayer, the stability found in my word, and the beauty of trust. Your roots have grown deep. Because of that, I can entrust you with fruit. Favor will increase, but so will responsibility. Attention may grow, but I will keep you grounded. Influence may expand, but humility must remain. Stay anchored. Let me surround you with voices that sharpen your wisdom, correct you in love, and encourage you in truth. Do not isolate yourself when momentum rises. Community will protect you from distortion.